I actually was Elizabeth Dole's National Finance Chairman when she ran for president. And I remember reading the Wall Street Journal and seeing the back page, the editorial page of Section A, and thinking, here is a woman who's had 2 cabinet posts, and she can't raise money to even be a voice or to have a seat at the table, because it's about how much you can raise. It's a very expensive venture to go into politics. And I remember seeing that there was, of course, George Bush and Al Gore, but there was this person named Gary Bauer on the Republican ticket, and I thought, I've never even heard of Gary Bauer. And here a woman is who has already essentially distinguished herself, and she can't raise money because I bet that women are not being asked to give. And so I called someone and they said, well, yes, we'd love for you to help her. And of course they asked me the first thing, can you raise money? And I said, you know, I've never raised money for something that wasn't tax deductible. I had raised $1 million a few weeks before for Habitat for Humanity for an event at my home, and I was on Habitat's board. I had raised money. I'd started the United Way Women's Leadership Giving, which is now over $1.5 billion. And so, but I'd never raised money that, again, for something that was tax deductible, but I thought she was worthy of having a seat at the table. So I got involved, and that's how I got involved in the whole process of politics and her campaign. Then George W. Bush asked me, because we had raised more money from women than in the history of politics. But of course that was because I was a woman asking other women, and nobody had asked specifically women to give. They'd asked couples to give, but it's very much of a sort of club and list of who you go to, and I just sort of broke through the normal list and asked people that I felt would want to participate in the process. So he asked me if I would participate in his campaign. It took me a little while to agree because I felt so aligned and supportive of Elizabeth, and when she pulled out of the race, I didn't know that I really wanted to support someone, but I thought, you know, I'd brought all these fabulous women to the table. I couldn't stop. I needed to continue the process. So I joined George W. Bush and the campaign and his executive team, and got very involved in the campaign for about 6 months, and was successful in bringing a number of people in, new people in, to the political process. And he asked me in the White House at one of his first meetings in January, after it was official that he was actually president, and he had Ken Lay and Hank Greenberg and Jack Welch. A number of people had been invited to the White House to discuss his new tax policy. At that discussion, as I was leaving, the president took my hand and stood right in my face and said, Bonnie, will you serve your country as an ambassador? And I said, as every woman under pressure, I changed the subject. So I said, if I could do heavy lifting and make a difference. And then, by the way, I want to talk to you about how your tax policy is going to affect small to medium-sized businesses, because I think S-corps and LLCs are going to be impacted by these decisions. So I just changed the subject.